Good morning, boys and girls. Today it's Tuesday, April 7th, 2020. Thought we'd kind of start like we do normally in our morning routine. Your journal topic today is, what do you miss about coming to school? I miss coming to school. I miss teaching you. I miss getting to read books together. I miss doing math together. And I miss watching you have fun. Here is your math. Vroom. I have 3 cars. Sam has 6 cars. How many cars are there in all? So let's go to our number line again. Again, you're going to draw your 3 circles. Draw your 6 circles. You can use 2 different colors if you want. For this part, you're at 0. You hop 1, 2, 3. And I'm literally going to draw little hops like a bunny. You might want to put a dot here. So you know you're at 3. And I need to add 6 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, that should put you at 9. 3 plus 6 equals 9. My answer is 9 cars, okay? Today, I have a nonfiction book. It's called Let's Go to the Moon. My question today is, what do astronauts do? Think about that. What do astronauts do? This book is going to talk a little bit about main idea. Tell the most important detail, and then tell other supporting details. All right, and I want to show you really quick if you can see this. There is a web. So the circles right there we've been doing all year. You would put the main idea in the middle, and then those circles on the outside would tell about your main idea. So maybe the main idea is that astronauts do this, and then all those supporting details would talk about that job that they do and how they do it well. All right, this is informational text that gives facts about a topic, words that tell facts, photos that show the real world. We know this is nonfiction. This is text to the Common Core. You need to identify the main topic and retell key details, and then identify the reasons an author gives to support the points, and read informational text. So what does that mean? It means you need to be reading nonfiction. Informational text is one form of that. You need to tell me the main idea and retell the details, the supporting details. And then you need to tell me the reasons an author gives to support his points. So if he says we're going to go to the moon, what supporting details does he show for that? And what supporting details does he show that go with that main idea? Blast off. Would you like to fly to the moon? Let's go. 987-654-321. Blast off. Why do you think the author writes as if you're really blasting off to the moon? So I'll ask these questions so we go. They were no nonfiction. The flight. It can take 4 days to get to the moon. A rocket helps us blast into space. We ride in the spaceship at the top of the rocket. The surface of the moon is dusty and has many craters. There are no plants or animals on the moon. There is no water or air. The moon has rocks, dust, and craters. A crater is a big hole. Spacesuits. This is astronaut Ronald Evans wearing a spacesuit. It's time to put on your spacesuit. Spacesuits help keep our skin safe from the very hot sun and the very cold shade. Spacesuits have air in them, so we can breathe. Now we're dressed for a walk on the moon. Looks easier to hold here. Probably should start that way. Sorry. Moonwalk. Walking on the moon is fun. We can take big, light steps. Main idea and details. What is the main idea of this section called Moonwalk? We're very light because the moon has less gravity than Earth. So think about the main idea. This idea that we're going to walk on the moon, all right? And then what details do you see that support that? We're light when we walk. It's fun. We take big steps. So if I go back to that web, there's that main idea that we're walking on the moon, and then I just gave you 3 supporting details. And there's a 4th. We carry space tools with us. We have jobs to do here. So space tools would be another thing when you're walking. This is actually a moon rock. We find rocks and bits of dust to bring back home. We will show the rocks to people back on Earth. This is our land rover. We drive around in our lunar rover. It's even more fun than walking in our fat spacesuits. That's kind of funny. Look at all the dust the lunar rover kicks up. Taking pictures. We take pictures of our footprints. We take a picture of our spaceship too. So you can see how unique that spaceship looks. And then they took a picture of that footprint. Our flag is up. So that's actually on the moon. We talked a little bit about how the flag looks like it's just there. We said there's no gravity, nothing to make it fall down. Without gravity, it just kind of floats. So the flag just kind of stays right there. No gravity to knock it down like it would on Earth. Let's take one last look before we go. We see rocks and dust. It says let's go home. So this would be another main idea of this section. And then you could have a whole main idea about the moon, and then all the things you know about the moon would be the entire book. It's time to go back home. What is it like to be on the moon? It's strange and fun at the same time. When you look up and see the moon, what do you think? Our moon is beautiful. Now, in this point, I'm kind of thinking about all those shapes. So, full moon, remember, all the way when you saw it? Quarter moon, when you see just that, you're seeing a fourth of it, but it looks like half. But remember, the moon, you're only seeing half the moon. The other half's on the other side of the world that they're seeing. Looks different to them. Remember, the moon doesn't change. It's always the same. It's just what we see based on what the sun is hitting. We talked about that in class. There's also the crescent. And then we talked about the words waxing when it's getting bigger, waning when it's getting smaller. Those were some of the key terms that we talked about. All right, so a couple questions just to think about. How do you analyze the text? Use these pages to learn about main idea and details and author's purpose. Then you're supposed to read again, which we're not going to do. The topic is the one big idea that the whole section's about. Think about the topic and let's go to the moon. What is the main idea or the most important idea about the topic? Details are an important focus about the main idea. Details are important facts about the main idea. Show the main idea and details on a web. So, if you can see this, a little bit more difficult. Main idea, the moon, if I'm doing the whole book. 1, 2, 3, 4 details. You could practice this at home. We could do this with another book as well, but maybe the footprint. We take footprints on the moon. Maybe you could add that part that we just talked about, or you could say something about how the moon has different shapes. We talked a little bit about how in the book, again, if you kind of go back, they use a lunar rover. All right, you could put that on there. That's how they travel around. And if you go back, there are space rocks that are brought back from the moon. Authors write for many purposes, many reasons too. They can write to make a reader laugh, so there's one reason, to make it funny. Hopefully, if you read the other book, the book with no pictures, that's definitely a book to make you laugh. That one's because it's funny. They may write to teach the reader about a topic. So let's think about this book we just read. Is this to make you laugh or to teach you something? So entertaining or teaching. If you said to teach you, you're right. The other book would be more entertaining. Think about what you learned and let's go to the moon. Why do you think the author wrote this selection? As you read, find details and text evidence that help to show his purpose. So again, I don't think this is a funny book. Let's take one last look before we go. We see rocks and dust. The flag is up. It's teaching me things about the moon, about the Land Rover. So this must be informational text. It is to educate me, not the other way around. All right, and then just a few more things. Your turn. What do astronauts do? It says use words you learned from this selection and describe the different job astronauts do. So that could be something if you want to pause the video and do it with your parents. Classroom conversation. Talk about these questions. How is the moon different from Earth? So I want you to just kind of think about these if you're not answering them. How is the moon different from Earth? You can tell mom or dad too. What do astronauts bring to the moon? You think about one thing. This is a comprehension piece. This is really important that you're answering these questions. That's why Mr. Buckman is doing this. Would you like to be an astronaut? Why or not? Why not? And give a reason. Okay, I'm going to read those one more time. Okay, I read you that whole book. You should be able to answer these questions now. Okay, this is our first grade skill today. How is the moon different from Earth? What do astronauts bring to the moon? You can tell your neighbor. Would you like to be an astronaut? Why or why not? And give a reason. All right, parents, so that would be a good time if they give you an answer, if it's correct, to support it. Maybe give them another answer to go with it. If they tell you the moon is different than the Earth because it's right near us, right next to me, then maybe you could give them some more information to help support their answer. Write about reading. Think about what you learned about going to the moon. What if you could meet the author of this selection? You could write 4 questions to ask him. Begin each question with a capital letter, end it with a question mark. That part you don't need to do, but this gets you thinking. All right, so this is a small selection of first grade work. All right, some of these you may end up seeing later on. This thought would be a good practice for you kindergartners to kind of get into some of that first grade nonfiction, and I'll be doing more of that as well. Again, we want to make it fun, even though we're also learning. All right, I looked at my weather forecast a minute ago, and it said there's a possibility of rain now. I was really looking forward to these next 2 days because they're supposed to be warm. So let's talk about the inside part of our day. All right, if you're inside, what do you do with all this free time? Okay, you have a lot of time on your hands. The other day, I grabbed some boxes, cereal boxes. I cut them up, taped pieces on them, and I actually made a marble maze. So I will send you a picture of those. The girls and I put little tracks in all the way around, put a marble in it, and then you just kind of move it around. All right, so you don't have cardboard. Mr. Buckman, I don't have any cardboard. What do? I don't have any tape. What about some blocks? Set your blocks down on the ground. Books. If you don't have a marble, use a little ball and see if you can get the ball to go through the marble maze. Okay, think about if there's a mouse in it. How could you make it difficult? And I've made mine have 2 stops where the marble got stuck. I also put a top on mine. Okay, so that would be a project to do today. Very easy. Okay, I don't have cardboard. I can't find a book. What about a piece of paper? Okay, just making a little marble maze. Again, this isn't required, but it gives you something to do. Okay, start thinking about the projects we did in school and how you can make them your own. Making bridges, right, with materials. Finding ways, if you have things around, to make it fun. So again, challenge activity. Again, you don't do this, just for fun. Make a marble maze. Grab a shoebox. Grab a cereal box. Grab a paper plate. That's another good one. Or if you don't have paper plates, a plastic plate. All right, but paper plates would be preferred. You got your circular paper plate. You're gonna make little lines going up like this, and I'll send you a couple examples as well, and try to make it go around and see if you can get a marble or a small ball. If you don't have that, your finger to go all the way around. All right. I hope you guys have a great day. I hope you get outside and the weather gets nicer. I miss you, and I will see you soon.